Hello, folks. Jason Chrisman, JC's Bees, your Central Ohio beekeeper. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning here. 24 degrees. A little chilly outside. We're not going to get over 28 degrees today, so it's not a good day to be playing in bees. It is a good day to get in there real quick and check their food stores. If you're adding the mountain camp method or feeding some kind of fondant or a sugar board, it's a good time to pop the lid and take a quick peek and see how the bees are doing on their food stores. Wouldn't go breaking any of the boxes apart or pulling any frames apart, but it is a good time to check in on their reserved food stores. I'm curious, how many of you spent all of your spare time this week watching Hive Life conference videos on YouTube? Guilty. Oh man, that looked like quite the conference down there. I seemed like I was just going from one video over to somebody else's. I tell you what, I got a real big kick out of, and that's Castle Hives put out a video, and boy, I've never met the guy, but Yappy Bee Man, that guy is 100 mile an hour. He just seems like a riot. Oh my goodness! If you haven't seen Castle Hives video, where he does a little introduction of Yappy the Bee Man, you should check it out. Man, that guy, 100 mile an hour. Really got a kick out of all the videos I watched, but Yappy, he really stood out to me. Man, he seems like a blast to hang around with. So I see why Dirt Rooster involves him a lot. Man, that guy, he seems like a blast. I couldn't believe all the different vendors that was down at the conference. It just really shows me, after watching all these videos, how I need to take the opportunity and get down there. I need to find me a farmhand to stay here, manage my livestock while I'm gone. And that's just huge, huh, Ladybug? Trying to find somebody we trust. Yeah, that's our babies. That's our baby. Who's gonna take care of Ladybug? Who's gonna take care of you, girl? Maybe Ladybug had to go with us. Do they have rooms down there for pets? With pets allowed? Huh, Ladybug? She's still sleepy. She ain't had her coffee yet. Yeah, her still sleepy. Lay down. Let me talk to the peoples. I'm going to share something here with you in a minute. Ladybug's got a fan, and I'm going to share that with you. You remember a while back I did a video on testing Ladybug to see if she liked honey? Well, a follower sent me a video of their dog watching Ladybug eat the honey, and it's quite comical. So if you're a big dog lover, hang around for that, and I'll share it with you here in a few minutes. Anyway, back to the Hive Life conference. I was really impressed with how well it was all put together, and the crowd it drew in was amazing. Kamen did an excellent job putting all that together. I'm sure he's probably in a deep hibernation at this point after all of his work the last year putting that together. I can't imagine the stress and everything involved with putting something like that on. So huge shout out to you, Kamen Reynolds, for putting on a great conference, from what it seems. So we've talked about the Hive Life conference. We've talked about checking your food stores. Another good thing to be doing right now, there's a lot of people starting to advertise their package bees and their nukes for spring. Now, this is the time to decide. Do you want to grow your apiary? Do you want more hives? Are you addicted yet? Because if you're not, you will be. Trust me. This is a good time to go ahead and get your orders in. I know right now, at least on Facebook, some suppliers are even running sales. So if you get your orders in now, you could save a few bucks. And it's also nice to go ahead and get your order in before they run out. So something to think about there if you want to expand your bee yard, to start looking for packages or nukes. Now, I highly recommend the nukes over the packages, but the packages do all right, depending on where you get them from. If any of you live local or in Ohio, or maybe you're just outside of the Ohio lines and you want to make the trip, I am selling 5-frame nukes, and I'll leave a link for that down in the video description. And you can go right over there and go ahead and put a deposit down on a 5-frame nuke. And the way it works is between May 20th and June 20th of this year, I will be contacting you for pickup. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that it happens every year. Every year. They order a nuke. Say right now they may order a nuke in January. And then the beginning of May comes along and they're on Facebook and they see all these people getting their bees or their packages or nukes, whatever it may be. And then all of a sudden they're contacting me. Hey, I want my nuke. Summer's about over. No, summer's not about over. You knew when you purchased the nuke that my dates were for pickup between May 20th and June 20th. That is not changing. So please keep that in mind. It gets so frustrating and stressful on me when I've got all these people contacting me saying, I want my nuke now or I want my money back. Last year, I had a woman contact me for a nuke. Actually, she got 2. She put down a deposit and reserved them. And then around the 1st of May, she wanted her nuke. And she was very demanding about me either refunding her money or providing the nuke right now. The nukes right now. The nukes weren't ready for pickup. I'm not going to let 2 nukes leave that aren't strong and ready to leave. That's my reputation. So that's just not happening. Well, come to find out, her husband contacted JC's Honeybees and not JC's Bees on Facebook. And if you're not aware, JC's Honeybees is in Texas. I'm in Central Ohio. Well, he contacted him through Facebook and asked when he could pick up his bees. JC's Honeybees replied, I don't have any bees for you. So then his wife, after he relayed this message to his wife, she got really upset thinking I sold her bees and stiffed her and kept the money. When really all it was too many chiefs and not enough Indians. Basically what I'm saying is, if she's in charge of ordering the bees, she should be in charge of following through and checking the status of the bees. Don't get somebody else involved, because then things get tangled up and twisted and it makes things more complicated for everybody. Now, it ended up, I got them straightened out, and I informed them I am not JC's Honeybees, I am JC's Bees. Who you contact, Ladybug, you're about to push me off the couch. Who you contacted is in Texas. Look at her back there. Oh, she's comfortable now. So that is why he didn't have any package or nukes for you. I still have your nukes. They'll be ready in a couple weeks. Well, she came, she picked up her nukes, she left, I guess happy. I never heard anything about her. We were friends on Facebook for a while. She completely unfriended me. So it was a whole big ordeal that just got way out of control. So that's why I'm telling you, if you do order a nuke for me, don't expect to get it any sooner than May 20th. And no later than June 20th. So I provide some very strong nukes, some very docile nukes. I've got some people that order nuke from me every year for the last 3 or 4 years, and I greatly appreciate that. And they must appreciate the good stock, or else they wouldn't keep returning. So anyway, order your bees if you're looking to get some, and that could save you some money and some stress down the road when you're trying to find bees and closer to spring and nobody has any left. So now what I want to do is I want to turn the tables a little bit. We're going to go down a rabbit hole, folks. I'm not a super huge fan of the Ohio State beekeeping program, and I want to reflect why that is. We're going to do a little rant here, and I know a lot of people are probably going to understand, but there's going to be some people that are offended by what I have to say about the state program. So with that being said, don't be offended. Don't let your panties get all twisted in a knot. I think it's great that we have a program for new beekeepers, because new beekeepers have a lot of questions, and it's just handy to have a beekeeper with experience right in your bee yard to ask them questions. Hey, I seen this, or what is this, or what are the bees doing here? But my problem is with their queen and nuke certification program. You see, to sell queens and nukes in the state of Ohio, you have to be inspected by your county inspector. And not every county in the state of Ohio even has an inspector. I think there's a handful that don't have one. So my problem is the inconsistencies on their inspections. One might do it one way, one will do it another way, and another county will do it a completely different way. I think there needs to be a set standard on all inspections. Each inspector has to do it this set way. You can't be using methods that aren't approved or that don't show any insight on set numbers. Like, for instance, my inspector, every time they've been here, have never done an alcohol mite wash. Never. Not one time. Their go-to method is to take the corner of their hive tool, find a frame of drone brood, and they'll start plucking off the cappings off the drone brood and pulling out pupas. And they'll look on them pupa for varroa mites. You see, varroa mites prefer drone brood over worker brood. And the reason for that is drone brood is capped longer than worker brood. So it allows the mites to finish their reproduction cycle, as where worker brood is a struggle for the mites to finish their production cycle. So they definitely prefer the drone brood. But the problem I have is there is no set standard, or there has been no study that says if you pull out 15 capped drones and you find a set number of mites, then you should treat. There has been no study like that. The only thing that tells you is, yeah, I see mites, I should probably do an alcohol mite wash. I should further the testing after I pull some capped drones. Not stop at that method and say, yeah, this is where you're at, you look great. And that's been the case every year. They pull out a whole bunch of drones, they look at them, they don't find any mites, or very few. Last year they didn't find any. And they say, yeah, you're good to go. That's it. They don't further it with a mite wash. They don't further it with I'm not a big fan of a sugar shake, but that would be better than what they're doing. And then, 2 counties over, or 4 counties over, they might be doing a mite wash. So why can't every inspector in the state use an approved method? I don't understand. It just blows my mind. It seems like a complete waste of time for me to sit here waiting for the inspector to show up so I can sell queens and nukes legally in the state of Ohio. Wait for this guy to show up to do a mite method that's not really even got any justification behind it. So that's my big beef with the Ohio State beekeeping program. Not to mention that, you got to wait forever for them to show up. I realize they're underfunded and all that, and that's sad, but at the same time, who's going to fund a program that's not worth a damn? Now, I realize they got some great basic information they can share with new beekeepers, but you get more advanced into the queen rearing and different things like that. Some of the inspectors don't know the first thing about it. So my old inspector 2 years ago, I talked about queen rearing with him. He says, it sounds like you're way more advanced than me. It doesn't even sound like I really even need to make an inspection in your bees, but I'm here. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So it puzzles me. It really does, folks. Now, to get the inspection, I think it's, let's see, I should know this off the top of my head, but I think it's, to register your bee yard, it's $5 for the whole yard. It doesn't matter how many hives you have in it. It's $5 per location or bee yard. So if I have a bee yard here at the house, it's $5. I have one up at our leased farm, that's another $5. So it's $10 a year. If you want to sell queens and nukes, I think it's an additional $10 for the certificate. So after the inspector makes his inspection, he usually says, you're free to do what you need to do. You need to sell queens and nukes, go for it. But, really, you need your certificate to be able to further that and move forward. A lot of people that are buying queens and nukes, they ask, do you have your certificate? They would like to see a picture of it. So therefore, that leaves you waiting for your certificate to come. So last year, I was inspected in the middle of June. Do you know when I got my certificate? You ready? I got it the last week of October. You know how many queens and nukes I'm selling in October, November, and December? 0. Absolutely zero. Now, last week I got a text from a friend here in Ohio who took his very first inspection for queen certification last year. Do you know when he got his certificate? Last week. It's January, folks. That's horrible. Somebody's got their head up their ass so far they can't see. I mean, how can you send out a certificate in January? They're only good until May 31st of the following year. So he's got from now until May 31st. Do you know how many queens he's going to raise between now and then in Ohio? Now, granted, you can start queen rearing in late April, weather providing. We've had some warm Aprils and we've had some damn cold Aprils. So the chances of the queens actually making it all the way to getting mated are very slim at that time of the year. In May, it steps up more towards the end of May than the beginning of May. So I can see him maybe being in the process of queen rearing, maybe trying to get some queens mated, but to have them ready by the 31st, he's going to be humping. And that's going to be keeping him very, very busy. So I don't know that it's actually possible. It would be really, really close. And like I said, it's going to be all about the weather. If the weather's warm, he's got a pretty good chance. So I don't know what the program needs. I would really love to see if they're going to drag their feet that much to get our certificates out to us. I don't know if they can only print one a day. I don't really understand. But at any rate, if they're going to take that long, why can't they make it a 2-year program? You get certified this year, and 2 years we'll be back. I don't understand. I would love for somebody with some authority to contact me and fill me in on these questions. I'm just flabbergasted by why we're sending out certificates in January. Not to mention the end of October. I thought that was bad. But when he texted me last week with a picture of his certificate, I'm like, oh my gosh. How can that be? It's just unreal. So anyway, folks, that's my beef with the state program. You know, they make us jump through these hoops, but then they want to drag their feet. So I don't really understand it, but that's the way it is. Now, I'd love to hear some of your experiences with your inspectors. Do you have to get queen certification to sell queens and nukes? Or are you allowed to just free willy sell as you please? Leave your comments down below. I hope I didn't ruffle any feathers with my little rant here, but it had to be said. It's just driving me nuts thinking about it. Every time I start thinking about it, it pisses me off. It really does. You know, they make you hop through these hoops and then drag their feet to get your certificate. I don't know why, with today's technology, they can't email you your certificate and you could print it yourself. I don't understand. Why does it take several months? It has to be they can only print one a day, right? Maybe they can print half of it one day and they print the other half the next day, so it takes 2 days to make one certificate. I don't really have a clue. I'm just blown away by the whole thing. Anyway, folks, let's climb up out of that hole. I don't want to ruffle any more feathers than I already have. I know there's going to be some inspectors here in Ohio that see this and think this guy's just full of it. That's not how the program is. That is how the program is. You can be blinded and not really see the truth, or you can be in my shoes and several others here in the state, and you can see exactly what's going on here. The blind leading the blind. Anyway, folks, climb out of that hole. What we're going to do now is I want to share Ladybug's fan Shadow from Australia. Check this out. Here we go. Let's see if she likes it.
Oh, she's having the honey. Doggy having the honey.
Does Ladybug like honey?
Cute doggy, huh? The chicken. Rooster.
She says it's not peanut butter, Dad, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. Them bees do some good stuff. Them bees are amazing, Daddy. Oh, yeah. I like that. So isn't that pretty neat? That was sent to me early one morning last week on Facebook, and I could not wait for the wife to get up and see that Ladybug had a little fan. So pretty neat to see Shadow watching Ladybug there. Like, is she gonna like it? Is she gonna like the honey? Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And thanks for watching this week. Like I said, I hope I didn't ruffle your feathers. I'll see you next week.